Hi lovelies, you're welcome to today's tutorial. Today we'll be looking into how to cut and sew a kaftan or bubu gown with a slight cowl shape. It has a slit by the sides and also there's a tie at the chest line area like so. So if today is your first time of coming across my channel Infinity's Gallery, please kindly click on that subscribe button, okay? Join the family. Yes. And also, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. So here our fabric has been folded into four like so. It's a chiffon material. That is how beautiful it is. It has been folded into four, like I said before. To determine the actual folding of your material is just the highest circumference of your body. That's the hip area. So the hip measurement of my client is 44 inches. Divided into 4, we have 11 inches. So right now, I went ahead and folded our material into 4. So that means we have 11 inches plus 3 extra inches for the allowance. So that's it. So right now, we'll first of all determine their starting point. Yes, which is also our shoulder area. So from our starting point, I measured out the full length of the gown, which is 59 inches. 1 inch out of the 59 is for hemming at the lower area. So what we are left out is 58 inches for the full length of the gown. So from the starting point, I went ahead and measured out 11 inches for the sleeve length, or you can as well call it at the bust length. So I chalked down 11 inches. So all the way from the shoulder, I came down for the waist measurement as well. 16 inches in length. So I went ahead and chalked down 16 inches as well. So also for the hip measurement or hip length, I came down 25 inches. It could be 26 inches depending on how tall your client is. So for my client is 25 inches. So I went out and marked down all these vertical measurements. So now for the horizontal measurement, for the shoulder is 16 inches. Divided into 2, we have 8 inches. So I went ahead and chalked down 8 inches. And you know it's a cut together sleeve. That means both the shoulder and the sleeve will be together. There won't be any joining. So now for the neckline, the width is 4 inches while the depth for the back is 1 inch. So I went down and marked 1 inch for the back, and also for the front depth I chalked down 4 inches as well. So that means 4 by 4, the width 4 inches and the depth is 4. The width is always the same for both the front bodies and the back bodies. It's only the deepness that differs. So I went ahead and curved it out. So now for the shoulder slant, from the sleeve line area, I came down 1 inch. I chalked it out. So what I will do now is to connect it from the shoulder slant all the way to the neckline area. So that's that. So what I will do next is to mark down our cowl length. You know, from the beginning of the class, I told us that it's going to be a cowl shape, but it will be a slight curve or a slight cowl shape. So the way from the shoulder, I came down 28 inches. Remember, our hip is 25. So from 25 inches in length for our hip, I came down 3 inches. That means it's 28 inches from the shoulder. So at that point, I went ahead to connect from the sleeve length. So I connected from the shoulder slant all the way down to our sleeve length. So from the shoulder slant to the sleeve length is our sleeve opening. So what I will do next is on our hip length, which is 25 in length, I shock down 11 inches. That's our hip circumference. 44 divided by 4, we have 11 inches. So I went out and chalked down 3 inches extra. 2 inches is for ease, how free the clothes will be. Then while 1 inch is for seam allowance. So all the way from the sleeve, as I said before, I confirmed the 11 inches downwards. That's for our sleeve opening. I shocked it down. So I connected it in a straight line from the sleeve length upwards. So now for our cowl length, which is 28 inches. Remember, we came down 3 extra inches from our hip. So I'll connect it all the way, the same measurement with that of the hip circumference, all the way to the sleeve length. So I came in 2 inches at that point for our sleeve armhole. So I'm going to connect it all the way to that 2 inches. Like I said before, here is our hip area, and also we came down 3 extra inches from that hip length. So I'll curve it this way from that cowl length to the hip, and from the hip to meet our sleeve opening at this point. So I'll connect it in this way, curve it in that way to create that cowl shape, like so. So at that point, I came up 1 inch to create a curve. It must not be straight or slanty. It must be curvy. So to create a curve, just the way you see me doing it at that armhole. So from the cowl length, I'll connect it all the way to the hem of the gown. So I went ahead and used my pattern master. I'll create a straight line all the way in that form, straight down. So we are done with the tracing all the way down. Now let's have a quick look of what we did so far. Here we have our shoulder, our sleeve length, and we came in 2 inches for our armhole or armhole curve, and we came up 1 inch as well to create that armhole curve. So our hip, then here is our cowl length, came down 3 inches from the hip. Here's the hip. I came down 3 inches to create our cowl shape. So here is our cowl shape all the way to our sleeve length, and we'll cut it like so. So what I will do now is to connect it from that cowl length to the hem of the gown. So here we cut. So here we are through with the cutting. So see how our gown is already. So what I will do next is to notch at the hip area. This will enable me to match together both the front and the back body's hip area or hip point. So that's that for our cutting. So now I went ahead and removed the back bodies to work only on the front bodies. So remember, we cut only the depth of the back bodies. So now I went ahead and folded our front bodies like so. So what I will do next is to cut the front neck line. That's the depth. So that's that. That's all we're going to work on the front bodies. So what next I will do is to close the neckline area with a bias. You can as well close it with the same fabric, but in this case I went ahead and used bias to close it up this way. So I'll go right out and stitch on that first line of the bias all the way around the neck line like so. After which I will flip it to the wrong side and stitch on it. So like so. After I'll flip it the other way around and stitch just the same way. So that's that for, I'll do the same on the back bodies. That's that for our bias. So now our fabric has been stitched down. This is the back, and here we have our front bodies. The bias has been fixed. So what I will do next is to place the right side against each other and fasten it down with a pin just on both shoulders. So I held it down with a pin just this way. So I'll go ahead and stitch right there at the shoulders. I'll close both shoulders. So after which I'll work on the sleeve length. So at the sleeve, I'm going to add another fabric right there on it. That will be a satin fabric to add it up to make up the sleeve. So before then, I will cut it out and show us how it's going to be. For the shirt style, I went ahead and folded the fabric into two. The length, I'm going to cut two different strips, after which I will stitch at the center to match them up. So now for the length, I measured out 16 inches and 4 inches wideness. That's the width is 4 inches. So what I will do now is to cut it out and create a belt shape. So here it is, our belt has been cut out. So I want to give it this shape, a fancy shape. So from one end I came up 4 inches in length. I shot it down. So using my pattern master or a straight ruler, just curve it in a slanted form, just the way you see me doing it. So at that point, I'm going to cut it out to give it that beautiful slanted shape, like so. So that's it. So I will use this to cut the second strip. So I went ahead and placed the sample on the second one. So what I will do now is to cut it out. So that's that for our tie, our bow tie. So I'm going to stitch it this way and to the other side and turn it up or flip it up at that end. I'll turn it to the right side, after which I will place the two ties together like this and double stitch tightly at that point. So it has been stitched down, the bow tie. So at that close end, I will turn it out to the right side like so. You can use scissors, you can use any object that can penetrate through. So I flip it round, working on the second strip or second tie. So I've turned it to the right side like so. So what next I will do is we have our first and second tie. I'll flip it this way. I'll go right there and place the other one on top of each other and double stitch right there. I'll top stitch it very tightly. It will be in this form, in this shape, to form our tie. So right there, our tie has been closed at the center very tightly like so. So what I will do next is to fix in at the tie at the center point of the neck line. So what I will do next is to measure out the midpoint of the center neckline. So at that midpoint exactly, I'll go right there and fix in and stitch and flip it just this way, the way you see me doing it. Here we'll create or form a tie. Yes, you just have to make sure it is at the midpoint. It should not be one-sided to give it that shape, the actual shape. Now our tie has been stitched right through, just the way it is. It has been stitched down. So what I will do next is to work on the sleeve. So right there, I went ahead and measured out the length of the sleeve, which is 22 inches in length, and I did that on the other side of the sleeve as well. So I went and cut out the satin, black satin material of length 22 inches, but I went ahead and added 1 extra inches, and also the width is 4 inches. So I'll go right there and fold it this way and iron it out, after which I'll place it like so on both sleeves, just this way. I'll place it this way and stitch on it like so, stitch on it all the way through. So I'll flip it the other side. I also do the same on the other side of the sleeve like so. I'll fold it into two, iron it out. You can add interfacing on yours, depends on how thick you want it to be. So what else I will do is to close in the sides. I was stitching the side using 1 inch. Remember, we added 1 extra inches for seam allowance. I'll close the sides with 1 inch. But before then, for the side slits, I went all the way at the hem of the gown. So from the hem of the gown, I measured out 20 inches in length for the side slit. So I chalked it down and also do the same. I did the same on the other side of the gown. So from there, they will be opening while I will close the rest till the armhole with 1 inch. So I'll go right there and fix our sleeve, also closing the sides and the hem, the lower part. So right now, I've closed in, I've fixed the sleeve. See how it is. Gone ahead to iron it out. So I've interlocked the rough edges with weaving machine, just the way it is. So see how the back is. Here we have the back. The back have been interlocked. Every rough edges have been interlocked. So I went ahead and adjusted every rough part. I went ahead to close the sides with just 1 inch. With just 1 inch, just this way, all the way till the slitted point. I'll close in the rough parts and show us the final look of the gown. Thank you so much guys for watching to the end. Please subscribe, okay, to my YouTube channel. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, share the video to your friends and families and well wishers as well. Yes, also click on that notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you so much guys. Love you all. Bye.